Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Chris Donovan. I am a sales associate at Lightspeed Financial Services Group, and today I will be your host for this webinar. It appears that I'm flying solo today, so please, throughout the course of the webinar, feel free to send an question to the chat box, and I will do my best to get to them as we are getting through the webinar, and I'll do my best to get to them at the end here as well. So before we get started, I do have to read this disclosure, so please bear with me a minute. This presentation is for informational purposes only. Nothing presented today should be construed as investment advice or recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security or contract. Since we don't know everyone's investment objectives or risk tolerance, we are not endorsing any specific trading strategies. Security, derivative, and futures trading involves a substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Each investor must consider whether this is a suitable investment, since you may lose all or more than your initial investment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Lightspeed Financial Services Group LLC is not affiliated with these third-party market commentators, educators, or service providers. Data, information, and material content are provided for informational and educational purposes only. This content neither is nor should be construed as an offer, solicitation, or recommendation to buy or sell any securities or contracts. Any investment decision made by the user through the use of such content is solely based on the user's independent analysis, taking into consideration your financial circumstances, investment objectives, and risk tolerance. Lightspeed Financial Services Group LLC does not endorse, offer, nor recommend any of the services or commentary provided by any of the market commentators, educators, or service providers, or any information used to execute any trading strategies are solely based on the independent analysis of the user. Thank you for bearing with me there. So also, before we get started, if you've not yet had the opportunity to do so, you can request a demo of today's platform by going onto our website, lightspeed.com. And in the top right-hand corner here, you'll see a try a demo button. Just click on that, and it'll take you to the demo request page. This is where you can fill out this demo request information here. Make sure you select the platform you'd like to use as well. Today's webinar is on the Lightspeed Trader platform. So just submit that, and we'll send you a username and password to your email that you can use to log into the platform with and try it out for 10 days. Also, if you mouse over the resources tab here and go down to Lightspeed Trader, click on that. It'll take you to the downloads and documentation page. This is where you can install or choose the appropriate link for your computer or operating system to install the corresponding version of Lightspeed Trader. Additionally, excuse me, we're currently running a promo. The promo code is 10K 2021. This promo is going to get you up to $10,000 cash back in your account through a rebate of 50% of your equities and options commissions within the first 3 months of your account being open. So that first 3 months starts the day your account is open. So also, stipulation 2 is that a minimum of $25,000 in equity at all times during the promotional period has to be maintained in the account. So please do keep that in mind, okay? But yeah, so this is our 10K 2021 offer. So when you are filling out your Lightspeed account application, should you decide to move forward and open an account with us, you would click on Open Account, this yellow button at the top right here. If you are a US-based applicant, you can complete the entire application online through the website, and there is a little promo code section here. Just type in 10K 2021 there. Okay, so this right here, we're going to get right into it. So this is our Lightspeed Trader platform. See here, and before we get started, I'm sorry, I see one question that came up. The discount does not apply if you are also already using another promotion or discount through one of our other offers. You can only have one offer on your account at a time. So that being said, this is the Lightspeed Trader platform here. This is my personal layout here. This is what I look at most days when I'm working. So this top left-hand corner window here, this is what's called the index bar. So this is the foundation of the platform, if you will. You'll see that if I click on the index bar and drag it, all of the other windows will follow along. However, if I click on any smaller window, any of the other windows open in the program, they can move independently. So that's something to keep in mind. The index bar is used to, you can create and open new windows here. So you just click on the new button up top here and you can see what windows we have available. The light scan function is not included in all demos. So if you would like to take a look at that, make sure that you send an email to our service desk. Their email is service@lightspeed.com. And they will be able to activate that for you. Just make sure you include your username for your demo when doing that, so they know which account to enable that for. Additionally, this is where you can open up your level 2 window here, which I'll be getting to in just a minute. This is where you'll be using to view quotes, etc. You can also change your system settings and configuration settings. Open that. It's for the platform. You can navigate this way. I personally find it a little easier to navigate using the gears through the settings, and I'll also show you that in just a minute as well. You can have multiple pages too on the platform. So I have an equities page, and I also have an options page here. So it'll save that. So I've got my options chain here. I've got a chart here, complex option order entry, and option level 2, and so on. So that is one of the things that the platform is capable of, which is nice. And you can also save your layout files. So the platform does come preloaded with 3 predefined layouts. These files, anyone can click on them, select them when opening the account, the platform. However, you can customize the platform, which is one of the advantages of using the Lightspeed Trader platform. There's a lot of customization, so you can arrange the windows however you would like. You can change colors and formatting in a lot of them as well. So after you've built out your layout, gotten everything exactly the way you want it, including your custom orders and your hot buttons here or your hotkeys, just make sure you click on Layout, save Layout As, and make sure you save that file in a location that's easy for you to find again. So then once you want to load that layout again, should your platform not open up exactly as you had left it before, you can then do load saved layout and navigate to that file browser. So the next window we were going to cover is the level 2 window here. So the level 2 window, this is where you're going to be viewing your quotes for any of the stocks that you're looking to trade. The top portion of it is the level 1 data, and the bottom half is the level 2 data. So this is where you can, and you'll notice a yellow border around it as well. This is what shows you which is the active level 2 window. So if I go to place an order using one of my hot buttons, it's going to place an order in the stock in the level 2 window that has the yellow border there. So you can see just really quickly, market buy, and we've bought Ford, and then if I click on NVIDIA and I do market buy again, it will buy 100 shares of NVIDIA. So I do know that we are currently in after hours, so market orders would technically not work. This is a simulated environment. This is a demo. So when trading pre and post market, you do have to use limit orders, and you do have to indicate your limit price as well. And additionally, a side note is the LSPT, the smart route, that is only available during market hours. So if you're looking to trade pre and post market, you would have to say, for example, route your orders to ARCA or NASDAQ, just for example. So the level 2 window here, this shows you your book depth here. You have some simplified prints here on the right hand side. So I mentioned earlier as well, navigating to settings. So you notice there I clicked on that gear, or that cog, whichever you would prefer to call it. This is going to take you straight to the settings for that specific window. So for example, if I want to do just chart settings, click on the cog for the chart, and that will pull that up for you. That'll navigate you straight to the chart. So we've got the level 2 window settings here. You can change the fonts and colors up top. So for example, I'm just going to do the level 2 fonts and colors, for example. You can also arrange choose to arrange the way the data is displayed. So I currently have quantity of the order, the market maker, and then the price in the columns, and you can see that in the window: quantity, market, price. You can move that around if you would like. Additionally, let's see here, what else? You can change the colors. You can change the font as well. You can choose to show column names, column background colors. If you want everything to be red, for example, you absolutely can do that. And it'll be varying shades there, as you can see. I'm just going to do restore to use default there. Go back. And you can also change the font as well. Yeah, so click on font. That this is specifically for the prints on the right hand side. You can do that as well. Same here, you can change the fonts here too, the color of the font too, as well as the the background too. So that being said, going into the layout, so this is the level 1 fields up top here that I have set. So I've got the exchange, the NYSE. I included that. That'll show you where a security is currently listed and trading. So Ford Motor Company is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, so it's displaying NYSE there. And you can also add these other data fields that we offer too. So just to give you an idea of what we have available. You can also choose to exclude certain market makers as well. So if you don't want to see any quotes from any of these exchanges, you can certainly just put a 0 in there, or just type in that venue in the right-hand side. Okay. So the next window we're going to cover is the order entry window. This is where you're going to originate many of your orders, unless you're using hot buttons and hotkeys. So scrolling with the mouse wheel over the shares box or the price box. So over the shares box, it'll increase it by increments of 100. Over the price box, it'll increase it by increments of a penny. So it would not do anything for the market or the limit type, order type. But so, say for example, because we're in pre-market, or post-market, I'm going to do ARCA, and I'm going to say I don't want to pay any more than, let's see, $12.97 per share for Ford. We're going to send that buy order. So you can see that order is now showed up in our orders window up top here in the top left. So white text in this case indicates an active order. Green text indicates a filled order. So you can see this is an active order currently. It has not yet been filled. That is why you don't see any, you see 0 for Ford Motor Company there in our positions window. By default, the platform, if you press the escape key, that is the cancel all active orders button. So clicking on escape or on your keyboard, hitting escape will cancel all active orders. Now, if you're interested in creating custom orders, you certainly have the ability to do that with the platform as well. Just keep in mind that if you're looking for trailing stops, they would not be available in a demo. However, they would be available in a live account. And if you want those enabled, again, you'd have to email service@lightspeed.com. Our service team, they will enable that. Just make sure you include your account number as well, and so that they'll be able to enable those for you. So we're going to show you how to create a custom order here. So we're going to do a buy order for 500 shares. We're going to do 5 cents above the ask. So we'll do buy 500, ask 5 is going to be the name of the order. Click create new command. And you just navigate here to the system settings, and custom orders is the tab that you want to go to. If you want to route this order to a specific exchange, then you can type that market into the market box there. So for example, you want to send it to NASDAQ, type in NSDQ. So get that done. So we're going to send this order to NASDAQ. We're going to make sure the instruction is limit, right? And then for the through, we're going to put 0.05, so we only want 5 cents above instead of 50. And we're going to select ask for the through there, all right? So for quantity without position to close, we're going to put 500. And then we're also going to put 500 for with position to close. So now I've configured this order to buy 500 shares, regardless of if we have an existing position in the stock or not. If you want to map that to a hotkey, you certainly can do that right from this customization, these order parameters menu. Click on map key now. I want to map this buy 500 ask order to control 0, for example. Make sure you click on the order that you just created and highlight it. Click on where you want to map it to and highlight that, and then click on map, and it'll show up, it'll populate over there. Additionally, if you want to add that order to a hot buttons window, so I'm just going to open up a new one just so you can see how to do it from scratch. Just give me a second here. Hot buttons window. And just click on the gear, the cog, again, open up the settings, right? And you'll see there buy 500 ask. The order we just made is on the right-hand side. Make sure you click on it, highlight it, click add. Now it's over there on the left-hand side. Currently, the font color is going to be black and the button color is going to be gray. So if you click on the button box there, the gray box next to that, that's going to open up the color chooser box. And you can make it, for example, let's do something else for a change. I don't know, yellow or purple. You do purple if you want. Buy 500 ask. There you go. I usually keep things green there for buy orders, but we're going to change it up a little bit today. So we've got our hot button there now. So I'm going to, let's see, try for a different stock here. Let's do Micron. So we'll do Micron. Now I'm going to try out my custom order that I just mapped to control 0. So we're going to try that out. Control 0. Oh, excuse me. The max order size was exceeded. So just have to change that. Back. Try this again. Okay. Just bear with me a second here. It seems that I have limitations on my system that will not allow me to place an order over 500 shares or larger. There we go. All right. Control 0. There we go. So we got filled immediately there. We placed our order at 72.35 is what we sent the order at. You can see that in our messages window, right? Buying 500 shares MU at 72.35. You can see here the ask in the level 2 window, 72.30 at the moment. So that order is doing what we wanted it to, which is great. And we also got filled at a better price than our order price too. So that's always nice. The reason that got executed immediately as well is because we're in post market. So again, it is a simulated environment. So just as a reminder, keep that in mind. I did also want to point out, I forgot to mention this in our level 2 window as well, the green letter E in the top right hand corner here, as well as the 25% indicator. So the green letter E indicates if a stock is easy to borrow or not. So if you wanted to short Micron, for example, you could do that immediately. You would not have to locate any shares or anything like that. You can open a short position in that right away. Additionally, the 25% indicator here, that indicates that this security is fully marginable. So for day trading accounts, we do grant up to 4 times leverage. So you may be able, you only need to have 25% of the cash on hand to open a position in this stock. That's essentially what that indicator there is telling you. So if you want to close out your position, right, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can, and we'll make a custom order. And I'll show you how to do that. But you can right click on your position in the positions window, and you can see here it says close out MU. You can choose 25%, 50, 75, 100. You can just do close out all long positions. You can do that. That certainly is an option. You can do only close out selected, and so on. But we're going to create a custom order, a sell order, right? And we're going to sell at 5 cents below the bid this time. So I'm going to go to custom orders. I'm going to buy 500, ask 5, right? The cool and a nice new feature of the platform as well is the create opposite button, right? So instead of having to type in a name again and click on everything, if you just click on create opposite, it will take you into the parameters there. Everything is essentially the same except for the name. The only thing that really got changed other than the name was the side. So this is now set to sell. So I'm going to change the name, right, to sell 500, bid 5. Or actually, no, excuse me. I'm going to make this a closeout. I'm going to close out bid 5. So this is going to be a closeout order for 5 cents below the bid. So I have to change my through to the bid, right? And then I also have to select closeout from the radio buttons choices on the left-hand side here. And we want to do full position. So it's going to be, we're going to select full position. And then for quantity, you can leave that at 0 without position to close. That way, if you hit this order, it's not going to open a short position. This button, this custom order essentially is now going to only close out any long positions that I have. So we're going to map that as well. We're going to map it to shift 0 this time around. So you close out bid 5, click on map, there we go. Additionally, a little side note too, if you click on the drop down up top here, you can see some of the preloaded orders or commands that come with the platform too. So feel free to explore those if and when you do request a demo. But for now, we are sticking with custom commands for the sake of time and for educational purposes. So we've just mapped that closeout order to shift 0. So we're going to test that out now. Okay, so we've got 500 shares of Micron to close out. This time we're going to use the hot button to close it out as opposed to the hotkey. Orange this time. Yuck. Let's do. we'll just keep it red. I think keep things easy. Here we go. Okay. Click on close out bid 5. Let's see what happens. All right. So we sent this order at 72.08, selling 500 shares MU at 72.08, which, if you look at the level 2 window there, the current bid is 72.13. So this is doing exactly what it is we wanted it to. So it closed out our 500 share position there, and it sent the order 5 cents below the bid. So that's fantastic. So that was just a quick little how-to with creating the custom orders and mapping them to the hotkeys, and also adding them to your hot buttons window too. So I'm going to get rid of this hot buttons window. We don't really need it anymore. And we're going to move on to the next subject here, which would be the orders and positions window. So you can see here there are a couple of columns right up top for each window. Navigating to the settings here, you can see for the, this is for the orders window, by the way. I clicked on that setting, that cog. You can see the columns that we have available. So I currently just have time ascending, symbol, price, quantity, side, contra. These are the other columns that we offer. So you can see your liquidity, your market or limit, P&L, original shares, whether or not you removed liquidity, your stop limit price, the total added liquidity, and so on. So these are always new columns that we're looking to add. We're looking to really give our users what it is they're looking for. So if you do have any suggestions for tools or indicators that you'd like to see on updates and new versions of the Lightspeed Trader platform, you certainly can submit that feedback. We do take that into account when coming up with updates. So if you go into the style sub-tab here for the orders window, most windows do have this option in their settings. So you see the background there is black. If you want to make that purple too, you certainly can. And you can change the text to yellow. I'm sure that'll make for an interesting look. Good, bad. We're just going to leave that. So this is a little not that easy on the eye, so I'm just going to change that back to black. But you get the idea. Change this back to white as well. Okay. All right. Yeah. So and there's also some predefined save styles as well. You can see here manuscript, mountain, white, default, figure, and so on. You can add or remove, show grid lines or not. You can show the column headers or not too. So some customizability there. You don't have to show the horizontal or vertical scroll lines, up to you. Clicking on the headers there, that'll help you select the font. You can change the font size. You can change bold, italic. If you want for, let's see, do they have it? EFG. see here. Joker, yeah, if you want Jokerman text, you certainly can add that if you would like. Same with the list too. You can change the font for that as well. You can also change the color of the headers and the header text too. Same goes for as well the positions window here. Opening up the settings, you can see the columns that are available for the positions window here. You can also you have Greeks as well, time and sales and balance for the other windows. So we've got the adding liquidity, borrowed shares, buy shares, cost basis, estimated net marked P&L, hidden intraday, execution time, pending shares, phantom shares, etc., etc. So they are some useful additional columns to add to your positions window if that is something that you are looking for. You certainly have the ability to do that. You can also change the color for your long and short positions too. I prefer to keep it simple there, just green and red. It's a little easier for me to follow personally. You can do summaries. You can also choose what you want to show and what you don't want to show. There we go with that style sub tab again, right? So just same thing as before. Manuscript, mountain white, default figure, and so on. And again, you can change those colors and change the text just like I showed with the orders window too. So I'm just going to take a quick break for a second. I just want to get a sip of water. If I'm moving too quickly, please let me know. Let me know if you want me to go back over anything. That's perfectly fine. We do have a couple of minutes left here together, so please feel free to send any questions that may come up along the way. So just give me a second here. I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay, we're back. Okay, so the next tool that we're going to be covering is the the watch list. So we've got light scan, risers and fallers as well. So this is our light scan tool here. It does work pre and post market, as with the other windows that we just covered, position and orders. You can navigate to the settings. We have additional columns that you can add here to the scanner window here, including VWAP, volume, tick size, spread, short interest, shares outstanding too. But no, I don't believe no float. But we seem to be getting closer there every update, so that's great. But yeah, so you can add these data columns to your scanning function. I believe I did mention it, but I just want to highlight that again. It does work pre and post market, so very useful tool to have in your tool belt when trading. You can also check imbalances too. You can choose to whether or not you want to see certain markets as well. So that's also useful. If you click, you can choose to arrange as well. So if you click on the column of the data that you'd like to arrange, sort the data from. So last price, you can do that order from greatest to smallest. You can do it alphabetically if you want, A to Z, Z to A, or by volume too. So it's a couple of different ways you can sort through the data, which is useful. So keep that in mind. Again, just a reminder, if you are going to sign up for a demo, it's not going to come with the LightScan tool. So you have to email service@lightspeed.com with your username requesting that they add that for your demo so you can check that out. So the next one would be the watch lists, right? So I've got watch list here. You can build out your watch list in the window with itself without actually opening the settings. In the top left here, there's a little box there. So if you want to add what's something that we don't have here, I don't see Tesla, so we'll type in TSLA, enter, and there you go. It just showed up at the bottom there. So we've added that to our watch list. You can have multiple watch list windows as well. So this is just watch list. So if you just do new watch list one, do webinar list, rename, add add some grayscale, add some Twitter, add some Roku, Ford, and so on. You can see there. Then I click OK, and it's switched, and even the name changed there too. So that's neat. If you want to continue adding, just like I showed you before, just type in the ticker, and it'll go, and so on and so forth. But we're going to switch that back to the original watch list. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Oh yeah, additionally, columns, more columns, a lot of columns. You can add these is what we have available here, so definitely spend some time checking those out again. Volume, VWAP, short interest, shares outstanding, options. We now feature that too, so that's nice, especially if you are an options trader. So I've got a few questions here. So Burfin would like to know how to set the default order entry window to 100 shares. So you'd navigate to the setting for the order entry window. And then you'd have to set, so this is every time you send a command, this is every time I log in, every time I click an equity, when I switch to an equity quote. So if you want it to be 100 shares by default, then you can certainly change that. You would just have to click on the drop down there next to quantity and set that. It says set to, and then you can choose 100. You would likely want to do that for all of those, just so it stays that way. If you do want to keep it that way, so just keep that in mind. But to do that, you'd navigate to the order entry window settings here. Click on the gear, go to command, login, mouse, quotes, and just make sure that quantity there is set to 100. I do not believe you are able to resize the boxes in the order entry window. However, you can resize the window itself. So make them smaller. If you make the window bigger, the boxes will get smaller. If you make the window smaller, the boxes will get smaller as well. Whoops, did not mean to make the chart that big. Excuse me. So 10-second charts are not available on the platform. So the smallest time frame that we offer is 1 minute as well. So we do get some questions about that. Currently the platform only offers 1 minute. We do offer integration with eSignal. They are a third party provider, however, so you'd have to sign up for their service as well. They do offer less than 1 minute time frames, I do believe. The SMA sentiment indicator, Al, is social media analytics. So this scans social media to essentially aggregate a sentiment, how people are feeling currently, what they're talking about, whether or not it's positive with regard to the what people are saying about a particular stock here. So we do have a webinar in October, early October, that's going to cover that in a little more detail. They are very good at what they do, and they are going to be able to give you a lot more of an in-depth explanation about it than I myself am. But it is a useful tool to have here. So you can see the S score is a normalized representation over social media sentiment over a look back period. So definitely check that out if you get the opportunity. But we're not going to get too far deep into that because we do want to keep things simple here, and we are running out of time a little bit. So just want to keep things on track here. So in terms of order replacement, so let's see here, 1 second. So we've got an active order out there. You can right click on it, click modify, and then a modification window pops up. So I mean, it's kind of manual there. I mean, you can increase the increment by 1 penny, and then you get like a pop up confirmation there. It says, do you want to modify this, cancel, and replace 72.09 limit price and replace it with 72.10? Sure, yes, okay, there we go. So that order gets canceled and it's replaced with 72.10. But That's really one of the ways that you're going to have to go about doing it is right clicking on the orders window there and going about it that way. So and again, the cancel all orders button is the escape key on your keyboard by default. So risers and fallers as well. Let's see here, risers and fallers. So this is another useful scanning tool. Could categorize it as sort of a watch list kind of tool. You can see here percentage change. It appears I believe I have that sorted that way. Yeah, yep, percentage. So you can again exclude or include or exclude certain markets. You can filter by price too. Choose to always display a symbol, choose to never display, choose to highlight particular ones. You can check these boxes as well. It is a useful tool to have, especially if you're looking for a large mover on the day pre or post market or during the day. In terms of customizing the order entry window here, believe Raphael would like to know, shows how to customize the box below ticker. So just have to click on the settings here for that particular box for the order entry window, and you can see what is available there. So if you want to set a particular type, a specific market that you always want to send your orders to, you can do that and just mark it, set to. I have it set to LSPT for all of them, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, so you can do that, but just a reminder, just make sure you see that when I send a command for each tab, it's so when I send a command, when I log in, when I click an equity, when I switch to an equity, and so on. And so I want to cover the charts as well here. So you may have noticed these dots here that showed up when I was placing the orders for Micron. So if you go into the settings here, you can turn those on. So it'd be under the trading sub tab here is show active orders, show executed orders, show canceled orders. So currently we can see an active order. It's our 7210 order there. That's that green line there. So and also the dots that'll be show execution and also show positions. But in terms of navigating the chart window here, so I'm just going to make it a little bigger. I'm not sure how well you can all see that or not, but make it a little bigger here. So if you're looking for crosshairs, you can certainly have that. Just double click on the body of the chart, and there you go. You got your crosshairs. You can add indicators here. So we've got the toolbar up top, right? If you don't want that, just right click on the body of the chart, click on show toolbar, disappears. Show toolbar again, there it is. If you want to draw a line, solid ray, click on that. That's our first button there on the toolbar. Solid ray, click where you want it to start, drag your mouse out to where you want it to end. There you go. Now you've got a solid line there. Scrolling up with the mouse wheel will zoom out the chart. Scrolling down with the mouse wheel will zoom in on it. If you want to move the chart itself up and down, hold Control and scroll with the mouse wheel, and it'll do that. And if you want to keep the same time frame but just look back, go back in time and keeping that same time frame, you can do that. Just hold the Shift button and scroll with the mouse wheel, and it'll do that as well. So that's something that is useful. I do get that question fairly often. So I'm just going to zoom in here. I'm going to get rid of this line. We don't want this line here anymore. Delete selected line. Okay. So these time frames down at the bottom here, if you want to add additional ones, you would go into the settings. See params, buttons. These are the buttons that correspond to the buttons on the bottom there. So if you want to add a 15-minute one, you certainly can do that. So we'll do 15, and we'll do and we'll do 15 bars as well. Sure. And you can choose if you want to see during market hours only, or 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or all. So just a quick note as well, the all button here, I have that selected. When trading with the Lightspeed Trader platform, you can trade from the hours of 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please keep that in, or excuse me, yes, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Yes, 6 p.m. Excuse me. So we've added this 15-minute. Make sure that you give the button a name as well. We'll call it 15 min. Add. And then we want to, and you'll see it show up in the chart there, but we want to move that up. We want that chronological. So select it, click on those arrows, move it up. There we go. So we've got 10-minute, we've got 30-minute, we've got 15-minute, and then we've got our 1 minute too. 60 minutes, 52 weeks, etc., etc. If you want to add specific studies as well, these are the studies that the chart have available. So we've got your standard VWAP, we've got MACD, EMA as well. So I've got Fibonacci as well, and trend lines and regressions too, if you want those. I currently have an SMA 20, a VWAP, and an SMA 30 on it. You can choose the type of line. You can choose if you want it to be a mountain. You can choose the thickness of the line as well, and you can even choose the color of the line too, and how many bars back you want it as well. So it's pretty neat. You can also change the price style. The bar width of the candles on your chart, the line width on the charts as well. Even if you want the volume too, if you don't want the volume, you can get rid of that. You see that changes right away. Click OK here. So the VWAP for pre-market specifically as well, that's going to show the VWAP of what an order would be filled at. So it's the true VWAP at that moment in time. The VWAP will update once the market opens. But yeah, that to answer your question there, that is the deal with the VWAP button. And excuse me, my dog is a little upset that I am not hanging out with him, so I apologize for the background noise there. Okay, so linking and unlinking windows too here. So you see order entry and order entry. These correspond to the level 2 tickers. So we've got order entry NVDA and we've got order entry MU there. And we've also got it for our charts too. So if you right click on the header of if you right click on the header of the window there, you can see it says link. You can unlink if you want to have an independent functioning chart there. You can do that, type in whatever ticker for whatever stock you'd like to keep an eye on there. And then when I change the ticker symbol in the level 2 window, you can see that chart still stays there. But if I change it over here, this chart also changes, and that's because this order entry and this chart window is linked to this level 2 window. So if I want to relink this to the Ford Motor Company level 2 window, I can do that. Just make sure you right click on the header, go over to link, and then select the corresponding one. If you select link to focus, that's going to link to whichever level 2 window has that active yellow border there. So you notice that it's currently linked to MDXG. I click on the Ford one, and then it changes to Ford, and the yellow border moved over there too. But I don't want that, so I'm just going to leave that as it is. Go back to link it to Ford there. So that essentially covers the basics for the option, or excuse me, for the equities side of things. I can touch briefly on the options things here, as we do have to wrap things up. So when trading your options here, you do need an options chain to take a look at which contracts are trading where. And if you double click on your the option or a option, that'll populate it in the option level 2 window here, which is in the top right hand corner. You can add the hot buttons are a little different for options. So you can, just for example, cancel all for option. We'll just add that there. The hot buttons get added to the option level 2 window instead of having their own separate window like for equities. The hot buttons get added to the level 2 window there, as you can see. Additionally, if you want to create a custom options command, you would have to open up the settings for the option level 2 window, go to the command sub tab. You can choose your market, decide your limit. We've got limit, market, and stop prices, time and force. Without position to close 1, it's very similar in terms of the with and without position to close for the for the equity side. And then you can also set your through as well. So above or below, positive or negative. And then this is important too. Some people say, you know, I made my custom order and I'm just using my command, nothing's happening. That is because they likely have the send to order ticket radio button selected there. If you want to press the hot button and have your custom command, go right away and then send that order, make sure you have send to market selected there. Okay. So that's important to keep in mind when you're creating a custom command there for options. So we've got complex options order entry too. So if you want to put on a strategy, you certainly can do that. It's also got a visual representation too, so you can see what your break even is, what your downside, upside is. So if we want to put on a call and put, strike 14, and then we'll do sell. You can see here what our upside is for this particular strategy. You can even add an equity leg too. So if you want to buy 100 shares with that too, or maybe sell 100 shares at a particular price, you can do that as well. If you just increase the price, decrease the price, scrolling with the mouse wheel there. You can also choose to save this strategy too for use at a later date. So just click save as and then name that forward strategy. Okay. So now I can clear this all out, remove equity leg, so it's blank, and then I've got spreads here, forward strategy, click on that, boom, same exact thing that we had before, which populates that. So kind of useful to have as well, a useful feature of the complex option order entry window. And then you've got your time and sales too, options, time and sales, and then charts too. There are not separate charts for options. The charts are for the equities. So charts are for the stocks, not the options. That is just how it is with the Lightspeed Trader platform. You also have an options most active window too. That is useful to have. You can sort by unusual volume options too. So a couple different options here for or choices from the dropdown. Don't want to say options twice; it could get confusing there. Yeah, so that about covers it for today's webinar. I do want to wrap things up here, but I'm going to open it up for about 5 minutes or so for some questions. If you didn't yet have the opportunity to ask one, please go ahead. I'll do my best to answer it. Once again, as well, go back up here. If you've not yet had the opportunity to try a demo of our platform, please go to our website, lightspeed.com, and click on the try a demo button in the top right-hand corner here. Take you to the, whoops, that is not the demo request page. Here we go. Take you to the demo request page. Just fill out that info. Today's webinar is on the Lightspeed Trader platform. Just make sure you select that and submit that request, and we'll send you a username and password to your email address that you can use to access the platform with for 10 days. If you don't see it in your inbox, sometimes the email does get bounced to the junk or spam folder, so please also check that if you don't see that within a couple minutes after submitting your demo request. If you're interested in opening an account with us and you are a US-based applicant, you can complete the application process online through our website. Just click on the yellow open account button there, and that'll take you to page 1 and the first step in the application process. If you're a non-US resident and you wish to apply for an account, you got to go down to download forms there. So mouse over the yellow button, click download forms. And then if you want to open an individual account, click on that individual accounts gray bar there. And if you want to open a cash account, you would click on that one, open a margin account. So we can click on the margin one here, and that'll take you to a PDF version of the application. Send this, complete this and send it over to newaccounts@lightspeed.com, and also be sure to include a copy of your passport too. We do need a copy of your passport to process that application if you are a non-US applicant. Let's see here. I don't see any additional questions coming through to the chat. So just going to give that another minute or two here before we wrap things up. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. I hope you did get something out of this. I hope you learned something. If you did not get your question answered or you have more questions, please feel free to email us. You can send that to contact@lightspeed.com. And we would get back to you in a timely manner. Just see here, contact us. Contact us at lightspeed.com. That's the address you want to send that to. You can also send it to sales@lightspeed.com with any questions about the platform or the account opening process or our pricing here. We do offer 2 different types of pricing. For equities, we offer a per share rate here. The base level is 0.0045 per share with a $1 minimum on the order ticket. We also offer a flat rate, a commission structure as well. This is per trade, so you're going to be paying $4.50 base level. That's for buying and selling. So that's every time you buy, you pay $4.50. Every time you sell, you pay $4.50. Or every time you buy, that's your rate, and every time you sell, you'd be paying that too. Depending on your activity, you may be eligible for also a reduced rate as well here. So if you're doing over a certain number of shares per month, you can get a lower rate. If you're doing over a certain number of trades per month, you may be eligible for a lower rate as well. Kevin, let me get back to you on that question because I'm not 100% certain. So I want to make sure that I get you the best and most accurate answer possible. So let me follow up with you about that. I'm going to take your name down here and get your email and follow up with you. So um, thank you. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to wrap things up here. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Please feel free to contact us with any questions that you have about the platform or our services or our pricing. We'd be more than happy to assist. Again, one last time, my name is Chris Donovan, and I'm a sales associate on the team here at Lightspeed. If you've been working with myself personally before or another member of our sales team, make sure that you list them as your salesperson on the account, and they would really appreciate it, and as would I. And we'd be more than happy to be your point of contact going forward. Any questions you have about the platform or your account or anything of that nature, we would be more than happy to assist you. So please, if you've been working with anyone in the past or myself, make sure you list that on your application too. So that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and have a fantastic evening. Take care.